Welcome and thank you for joining us today.
We're Derps and Burps, the podcast for all gamers, spiritual souls, and creative minds out there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 68, not 86. Sorry, my German English brain is fucking me over once again. Today's episode is called Let's Get Married, where we're gonna be talking about. Bless you, Steffi. Steffi's back in case you didn't hear it yet. We're going to be talking about marriage, our points of views on marriage, on the whole tradition about it. If we think that it's a good thing to get married instead of just staying in a long-term relationship, what our point of views are, those kind of things. If we always dreamed like a little girl to get married in a castle, or if Steffi ever wants to have like a Star Wars themed marriage, or if she wants to... I don't know, start her own cult and move out on the countryside and have like 15 men. We're going to find out about that today. As per usual, we are your hosts, Steffi.
And Julia.
And together, we are Derps and Burps.
Yes.
So, first of all, guys, we have Steffi back. In case you're wondering, she's still not 100%, but she felt good enough to record an episode today. So, let's appreciate Steffi. Thank you for taking the hour out of your day and still spending it with us today. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
And we all hope, I think I can speak for you listeners, right? We hope that she's going to be doing good again very, very soon.
So do I. It's just so annoying because you don't really know what it is, or nobody like is giving me this specific like conclusion or talk, because apparently it's nothing out of the ordinary. I don't know, it's just I just feel super weak. Yeah, I do a lot of walkies. I go for a lot of walkies, I rest a lot, and that's basically everything I did. And obviously watching a lot of Netflix or Disney Plus, whatever
Just
I want to watch.
to interrupt you, sorry, Steffi. I think we didn't really talk about yet what they think it is that you could have, or did we? Because like
I
last
did.
episode,
We
you
talked.
did? Okay,
We talked
did.
about it in the like 2
wasn't really sure.
episodes before, where I said I think. Did we? Where they said mini thrombosis. Hold up.
I'm not 100% sure if we
60
did.
Yeah, because I was in the hospital and then I was at.
But I think you didn't get the results at this point yet. I don't think we talked about the thrombosis thing.
Oh, okay. So my
if you want to talk about it, because I
doc-
didn't talk about it last week either, because I didn't know if you want to say it or not. So
my
just
doctor, like my what's it called? My basically the home doctor I have. What's the word for it? Is
a
it
general practitioner or something like that?
Yeah, my general practitioner. She said she doubts that it was a panic attack. She thought, or she thinks, it was a mini thrombosis, and therefore I got a lot of, because my blood stream was kind of, I don't know if it was low or high. From the results, it wasn't like too bad, but it wasn't what it should be for my age.
Okay.
So she said, okay, let's do that, and let's do that with all the symptoms. It sounds like a mini thrombosis. By this time, it happened again a week after, and I had by now, I think, because in between I thought it was a like allergic shock at some point. And I was trying to figure out what I did different on these days, like on these specific days where it happened. Also, sorry if I just lean back a little bit. I just need to like get more into the horizontal.
So good. I can go down as well. So it looks like we're both like chilling.
So, yeah, I thought at some point it was an allergic shock, and yesterday again, it felt like it was a mini version of it. So every single time I had it, after the first time, it got less intense. So maybe this is like something that will happen a few more times. I am not sure. I have no idea. I felt very good yesterday, and I felt very good the day before for the very first time, like really good. I was stronger again. I was walking a lot. Felt good today. I'm just very exhausted again. So, and it's stressing me out. So,
oh, Steffi, I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's just
sure.
Yeah. It's just when how to say. it's just stressing you out as well mentally when it's getting better and then it's getting worse again, right?
Yeah, and you don't know
So
what it
yeah.
is,
Yeah.
obviously. Oh, I'm sorry.
But
Should
yeah,
I?
anyways,
You okay?
I watched Chili and Georgia.
Mhm.
I finished everything, both seasons. Nice show.
What is it about?
You gotta see me with tears. Sorry guys, this is how um
Oh.
basically a single mom raising two kids,
Hmm.
and she's basically on the run. And you are she's running away from her past basically.
Okay.
And how everything happened and what happened. And but this time they moved somewhere and they kind of settled down because they really liked it where they were.
Hmm.
And then they basically had to learn to face their problems, to solve them, etc., etc. Very nice show. Like
Hmm.
watchable.
Hmm.
Um
It's on Netflix
beside
or
that,
where is it?
yeah, it's on Netflix,
Okay.
yeah. Beside that, yeah, I didn't do much. I started Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I played I don't know, I don't have much yet. I've maybe in total I played 2 hours
Hmm.
so far. Really like the scenery and everything. You have hilarious haircuts and everything for Cal, which is I got a mullet yesterday. I collected a mullet yesterday in game and I put it on. And I had to change the hairdo after 10 minutes because it felt like a fucking abomination to start with for me. So I couldn't wear it. It was just so awful. I couldn't wear it. So yeah.
Are you
Star Wars,
playing?
I'm
How is it? Are
enjoying
you
it.
playing a specific character? Or do you create your own character? How is it?
Now you
I didn't
always
watch
play
anything.
Cal Kestis.
Okay.
The first part is the Fallen Order game where you play Cal Kestis where he's younger, and now it's been 5 years in between.
Hmm.
And you play him again advanced. You actually kept quite a few of your lightsaber tricks,
Hmm.
so you don't have to like fully start over, which is kind of cool because obviously it's ongoing, right? So why would you lose all the skills again?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. You learn a lot of new skills. Plus, there's quite a few new techniques in it with gameplay wise, which is kind of cool. And yeah, I know a lot of people are complaining about the performance issues and everything. Uh, I don't know when most of them started complaining, but probably on the first day it came out. And
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's been like that for like with the first game as well, right? So you had some technical issues in the beginning. They fixed it. I still played it. It wasn't that bad. It was just sometimes with the cutscenes you had like some stutters and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing that affected you too much, honestly.
How much is the game?
70.
$70. Yeah,
Mm,
I think that's the main issue with people that when you buy a game for $70, like
mm,
the prices of the games get more expensive,
yeah.
obviously, all the time. Which obviously, like, I think people like us, we understand it, right? There's like huge studios that work on those games for like many,
Mm,
many years. There's so many people working on it. And so for me, if I know that a game is really good, I don't have an issue to pay like say $60 or something for a
no.
good game. But I have to say, for example, when I buy a game like let's say God of War is always like a very good example for me because it's always like super highly polished, super
Mhm.
smooth. Like whenever it comes out, it is basically a full rounded perfect game
Mhm.
that's getting released. And that's kind of what I personally expect as well. Like if
Yeah,
I
what
would
you want,
spend
yeah.
yeah, if I spend $70 on a game, then I want the game to be finished,
Yeah.
I don't want to have
Yeah.
like some beta testing kind of thing because as you said, it was so many people that those stutters happened to, and even if it's a bug, like the bugs are fixed now or they're working on it, whatever. Like, especially if a huge company like uh, Disney that owns Star Wars, right? I'm not really
Mm.
sure how it works with the studios that produce that. You would expect a big game like this to come out at least
Done, yeah.
not yeah at least being finished under those circumstances. Obviously,
Yeah.
like it's always hard to know as a person from the outside what happened, like were they under pressure to release even though it was not finished, which is
Mm.
basically the case all the time with new games. But that's why, like, I understand as a fan, like you, I would be the same. Like, for example, if a God of War would come out and it would lag for the first week and then they would fix it, like, I wouldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But again, if it's something like Cyberpunk, like that bad, like, I'm like, okay, fuck you guys.
Yeah, that
Why
was
did you?
awful.
That was really, really awful. But
Yeah.
again, I do understand it in a point of, hey, it's a 70 fucking euro game
Yeah.
and it's
yeah.
not the way it should be. So I get that part. But again, as you said, like, if they patch it within like a week or two or something like that, then whatever. Like, you get the game anyway. It's just annoying that it happens on such a big scale, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how
Um,
it is for console. I think it's all over the places, no matter if it's
I mean,
PC or console.
that's the other thing. Like, for example, that happened with Diablo, right? So Diablo, when the
Mhm.
alpha or the open beta or open alpha, I'm not sure what it was, where you were able to play the new Diablo game, it was super
Mhm.
smooth and good, beside of like some server issues
Mhm.
for console players. But if you played it on PC, it literally like burned through your graphics card or like your RAM
Okay.
sticks and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I guess that's also like a big thing where you don't really know, do they optimize the game for a console, do they optimize it for PC? Because I'm not 100% sure how it works with the numbers, but when I checked a few years ago, or when I was like at the huge presentation at the gaming convention, I don't remember where it was, but it's like how the gaming market works, that most gamers are playing on phones, second largest is consoles, and a third is PCs. So
What, really?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah. It's
crazy.
because you have to think about a global scale, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it's just a raw number of people. Like, not as many people can afford to have like €1,000 gaming PC, and I thought, you know yourself, like €1,000 gaming PC is like a bad PC
Yeah.
under quotation marks. Like, if you want to
Average.
have like a good PC, you spend 2, 3, 4,000 euros, you know, to have like the best
Yeah.
and newest things in it. So the thing is, like, for example, also poorer countries, so let's say like India or something like that, they start using now our old phones from like 5 years ago and they start gaming on
Mhm.
it, because for example they also don't have the infrastructure to have like a good internet connection, like a LAN cable at home, right? So
Mhm.
they start gaming, like they all get like 3G 4G now, so they're like now coming into the world of like being online, like watching YouTube. Like, there's a huge growth on YouTube, for example, because a lot of Indian people or people from poorer countries are getting like what's called like internet
Access on.
access to internet over their
Okay.
phones,
Okay.
right? So, and that's the same with video games, right? They can't afford to have like a PC or a console, but they have some
Mhm.
old like 5 or 10-year-old phone that they got from somewhere and they start playing. That's why the market is so big for phone games, for example.
Mhm.
And that's all gonna happen like in the next few years, that the other markets, so like console and PC, is gonna grow as well, because obviously those countries are developing now
Yeah.
as well in that direction. But obviously also like the wage and everything is way different, so it's still gonna take um a while. So that's actually
Yeah.
the thing that I sometimes really think about, because they're probably, especially when it comes to those titles, they probably created on the focus of making it run smooth on like a console, because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
also easier. Like, if you have like an Xbox or a PlayStation, like every Xbox, every PlayStation has like the same hardware, right? So you can
Mm.
optimize it to run smooth on that hardware,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then once the game is done, or I don't really know how it works with the exact development, like I'm not a developer or something like that, then you try to make it also run smooth on a PC, I guess. And there,
Mm.
obviously, we all know, like, some people have a PC that's 10 years old with a graphics card that can probably run it on like the weakest settings, and then there's people that have a high-end PCs and they're like, you know, so there's like such a big variety. So I do understand where the issues are coming from, because you can never like cater to everybody and make everybody happy at the same time, right? So
Yeah.
it must be hard as well as a studio, right? Like, what do you
Yeah.
focus on?
Also, I haven't played that much, so I can't really tell how bad the bugs are or whatever it is.
Mm,
Because yeah, as I said, I'm on the first planet and I have 2% now of the first planet, so I basically haven't seen anything of the game.
mm,
And if it gets worse, like if you have a lot of issues, I remember the first in Fallen Order, there was, I think it was in the first third as well, or
mhm,
even in the first 20 minutes when I was playing, I had a bug, a very weird one, that just like happened to me because there was like some turbines
mhm,
and you had to slow them down and you had to like climb up to them and then slow them down and then you can walk through them.
mhm.
And I was stuck on the ladder and I was
Oh
just
no.
glitching up and down all the time. So yeah, those things like I had those things as well,
Mhm.
but gladly there was a fix to it, right? It was just like maybe a polygon in the wall that made
Oh,
me
okay.
like glitch there for a second, and then second run it was no problem at all. So
Mm.
yeah. But then again, I haven't played much of the second one. I'm very curious about the story, so I'm looking forward to continuing the
Are
game.
you gonna stream it as well, or are you gonna enjoy it by yourself?
Yes, but I don't know when,
Like when
because
whenever you're feeling better, obviously,
yeah,
like not rushing
yeah.
you or anything.
I don't want to wait. Like, I don't want to wait to play the game until I stream again because I
Mm.
really want to just play it. And yeah, I just play 1 or 2 hours a week or 2 weeks, 2 days a week. So let's see. Whenever I feel like okay, I want to just jump in right now and I want to play for a bit, I'm doing it without feeling like okay, I have to stream. I would love to though
Yeah,
because it's
of
very
course,
nice
yeah.
with the reactions and everything. But yeah, I can't. It's just not possible right now. I
Mm.
just can't. So yeah, let's see. I either jump in mid game with the stream then, or I start over
Yeah,
with a new game.
safe or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's about it.
Yep.
What about you?
I got a lot of shit done last week, so I was like
Nice.
procrastinating a lot of things, and I did a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't manage anything. Not everything. Let's say that I need to still do some email stuff, and I started also organizing for my 10-year anniversary, which
Mhm.
would be end of May. Um,
Mhm.
but I will probably, so my anniversary would be exactly on the day that Nita and Sazo are getting married.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna move it for 2 weeks after, because then it would
Mhm.
be 1 week before my birthday, and then a week after I would celebrate my birthday. So I thought about just putting it together, my birthday and the 10-year anniversary. Um, because otherwise it's just annoying, to organize like
Yeah.
two big streams or whatever. So we're gonna celebrate my 33rd birthday and the stream anniversary in one day. So
Mhm.
I started talking to like all the brands, if we want to do some nice giveaways for the people again, like we do every year. I did my taxes for the first quarter. I wrote a lot of
Nice.
emails. I got a lot of stuff done around the house. So I got a lot of like pressure that fell off my chest. So the
Mhm.
only thing that I really still have left that I didn't get to do last week. So this month I was not really that active, or in April I was not really that active on OnlyFans, for example. It was the
Same.
first month that I really didn't post that much. To be
No.
fair, I have like written in there that I do 1 to 2 sets a month, and I did
Mm.
two, I think, or one. So it's not like I under delivered, but compared to like all
Yeah.
the other months, I usually provide a lot of content there, but I just didn't have the time, and
Neither.
I
Yeah.
just didn't really feel it, so I feel a little bit guilty for that. Um but in the end, like, I'm gonna try to be better this month again. I ordered again a little bit of some outfits to take some new pictures, and I'm gonna see if I can take some this week and like make up a little bit for it. So that's the only
Nice.
thing where I feel a little bit bad about it, because the first month really, like in a year that I've been on OnlyFans, that I wasn't really active. But yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna
Mhm.
take care of it this week. Then I got a new cleaning lady number 3.
How
Um,
is she?
actually really good. It
Nice.
is the cleaning lady of my stepmom that is cleaning for her for like, I don't know, 10 years or longer, 15 years.
Mhm.
I don't know. She's really introverted, So like she comes in and she doesn't really talk to you, and you're not sure if she's like angry at you or something like that. But she already told me like, don't worry about it. It's just the way she is. She
Yeah.
came in. She cleaned the whole house beside of my basement.
Uh-huh.
Within 3 hours,
Nice.
and she did a very very good job, and like really, really really good.
Nice.
So she comes in, she does her stuff, she leaves. Perfect.
Yeah.
So she's
That's
probably
all
gonna
you want, right?
exactly. So she's coming every 2 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Every Thursday. So
Okay.
that's really good. Then Saturday we had a barbecue with frienderonis. So Nita and Sasso were coming over. James and Sabrina. James did his marathon. He did the Vienna marathon. He made
Nice.
it slightly over 4 hours. He wanted to be under 4 hours, but he was a little bit over
Yeah,
4 hours,
okay.
which is still insane for a marathon. Like, but yeah, you know, he had like big ambitions. So yeah, Sazu, Nita, James, and Sabrina. Verena was there as well. And then my two new friends, Wolfie and Miriam, which is my physio and his girlfriend. And yeah, we had a nice barbecue. We made some burgers. We were hanging out. We had like a nice mango coconut cake as dessert. And yeah, it was a chill evening. We stayed up till 1 a.m., which is crazy for an old person like me, right? Way past my bedtime, but it was really really nice. And then Sunday I just played some CS with the stream, and yeah, I'm really into Counter-Strike again. I
saw.
really really got into it, and the cool thing about it is as well that it really works good on stream. Like I was like it felt right for me to get back into it, and I'm really really enjoying it, and seeing that the stream is reacting great to it is like really nice, because I had like
Yeah.
a few months of streaming where I was a little bit worried about like just everything declining,
Yeah.
and no matter what I did I couldn't really fix it anymore. And I completely surrendered into it and was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like and have fun. And now I really did not expect with playing CS that it would bring the stream up again, but it almost doubled my numbers
So
since
crazy.
I play CS again. So
Yeah.
it is nice to enjoy it, and it works great for stream. So it's like it's a
Win-win.
blessing right now. So yeah, really enjoying streaming right now, really enjoying CS right now. And this week, so when you listen to this, it already happened on Friday. I'm getting tattooed again. I continue my back piece. So I'm excited, but also afraid, because I know it's gonna be so much pain again. I really regretted so much to start such a big, not regretting, because I know once it's done I'm gonna be so happy with it. But the way to get there is a long one.
Tough one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was I think everything of my update.
I forgot one more thing. By the
Yeah,
time
sure.
you hear this, guys, it was May the 4th already. May the 4th be with you.
Oh yeah, true. It's gonna be May. It's today, and then May the 4th. And you probably already saw what Steffi did on social media.
No.
Like every
Oh,
year.
yeah. By now, yes.
Yeah, May the 4th. So tell us about how you liked Steffi's annually Star Wars post, as per usual. I already saw like a sneak peek. Like I it's not fully done yet at this point, I think, of the recording, but I saw a sneak peek yesterday, and I think it's really really cool. She did a great job once again.
With the great power and help of friends.
Aw. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? Yeah, then let's talk about the listen of the week, and then we can get into our marriage topic.
Yeah. Listener of the week is finally fallen under episode 66, Measure Pass Part 3, and he says, I need to watch The Office. I've tried it once and turned it off after 3 episodes, but maybe it's worth checking out again. I think because you died of cringe,
Yep.
Paul, and I understand that. It's so hard in the beginning to accept everything that's happening there.
Embrace the cringe.
Yeah, it's just you cannot watch it, but it's good. It's good. Just continue. Try to get through it. My personal comfort show is Scraps by far, and Modern Family kind of. All the characters are so pure, he said.
I think it's pretty on the same level as Modern Family and stuff.
For you, comfort wise? For me it's like I can watch it, but
I mean, Modern
It
Family is still top notch. Like nothing is gonna like if you have a fucking bad day and you watch Phil Dunphy, there's nothing else that can get me out of a slump than fucking Phil Dunphy.
yeah, because they're so pure and so nice. And with The Office, it's more like for me, it's like after 5 or 6 episodes, it's so like it's getting so stressy for me because there's
Mm,
always like
so much
hyper
happening.
full on shit going on. So it's not really a calm down show for me,
Mm,
but a just fun show. Like I just enjoy watching it.
yeah. It's like you can let it run like on the side and
Yeah,
you're just
yeah,
like not watching with you folding laundry and then you're looking up and then you're giggling again and
yeah.
kind of nice. But yeah, and thank you again, Mark, for commenting. Really appreciate you and your input.
Mhm.
So guys, we gonna now go into talking about the topic of marriage. So what our episode is about today. Let's get married. So Steffi and me were at a bachelorette party of our friend Nita the other day. So we were both at the bachelorette party and we were looking at each other at the same time while going on and we were like, we should make an episode about marriage. And so here we are. Exactly. So I think the first thing that we should talk about to just get into it is how is our views on marriage? Just to answer the question straight away, Steffi, would you get married? Or would you want to get married? Do you want to get married?
Mm, not really. I don't really need it. Uh, no, I see the appeal and how beautiful it can be. I've been on quite a few weddings by now, and it's beautiful and it's touching. It's touching me every single time you see those two people loving each other so much that they just wanna make this like official bond, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the ceremony itself is a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I can imagine being like in a forest or wherever, just having this, like, making this bond with your partner
Mm-hmm.
and celebrating it with your loved ones. I see that and that's beautiful. I just don't know if I ever want to do it. Not because I'm afraid of commitment or anything, but first of all, it's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, true.
Especially and my birthday for my birthday party, like we have 50 people for my birthday party already. So if I would do a wedding, I would invite or I would want to invite so many
Really?
people
Would you
to
want to have like a
celebrate that
large?
together.
Would you want to have such a large?
Yes.
Really?
I would love if I marry, I want to marry big, like big, big,
Okay.
if I want to do it. So I think this will cost quite a lot, and I'm not sure if I will ever have that much money. Sorry for eating in between. I just need to get something in for my Kreislauf. What's it called?
It's okay. It's okay. So she doesn't collapse. Eat Steffi. Eat
Mhm.
Steffi. It's all fine. So
Mhm.
did you always have that mindset towards marriage? Did you were like, nah, I don't really know? Or when you were a little girl, you were like, oh my god, yes, I want to have the princess wedding.
I never thought of a princess wedding. I think I need to ask my mom if I ever mentioned something when I was a child.
Mm.
Um, but no, I found all of these things as a child very annoying if we had to go there. I never wanted to go there.
Aw.
So, yeah, now I was never really the type of girl that wanted to like marry the prince.
Okay, okay.
What about you?
For me, it's quite the opposite. So if I think about like being younger or being little, for me, a long, long time. I think till like my late teens, almost. I want to say.
Mhm.
For me, my under quotation marks goals in life. Like I was never the person who was like, oh, I want to have this huge career. I want to be like super famous, or I want to be um I don't know, a lawyer or a doctor or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my goals in life was always I want to get married, I want to get a house with a white picket fence, and I want to be a mom, and later on I want to be a grandma. You know, I told you that I think I told it multiple times on podcasts already. My life goal ever since I can think about is not only becoming a mom but also becoming a grandma and having this
Mm-hmm.
moment with my grandchild in the future where I just sneakily give them like $10 and be like, don't tell your mom I gave you that. That's like literally, I don't really know why, but maybe because I came out of such a broken family that
Mm-hmm.
I just always dreamt to have my own family to make up to give somebody that I care about what I always wanted. Is I
Mm-hmm.
think that's
Mm-hmm.
maybe like psychologically the reason. So again, I was never a kind of career person, and now look at me. I'm 33, not married. I have the house. I have no kids, but I have a
Yeah.
career. So yeah, I mean it came way different than I thought, but yeah, it was always my goal, and I was always talking for a very long time that if I get married, I want like a huge wedding with like 100 people and all my family and all my friends from everywhere in the world there. And I can remember even when I started dating Nathan like 9 years ago, I told him like I want this big wedding, and
Yeah.
I even know the location that I always wanted to. Always wanted to do Maria Wörth,
Mm-hmm.
like
My aunt
the
married there.
really. Oh, it's so
Mm-hmm.
pretty. It's
Got
really really
married
pretty.
there. Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
for the people that don't know, there's like a small island in like the Wörthersee.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a big. It's not really a. Is it a church? I'm not sure if it's just a castle or a church kind of thing. I'm not sure if it's a
Yeah. I'm
religious
not
thing
sure
or not.
either.
But anyway, it's like a really nice castle looking building, super fancy thing. And that's I was always like, I'm gonna get married there. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. And when I was younger, I was always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get married when I'm 24, and I'm gonna have my first child when I'm 27, and then till I'm
Damn.
33, I'm gonna be done with all the children, and then I'm gonna whatever. So that was always the plan. Now, it changed quite a bit. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm a little bit more realistic when it comes to those kind of things. First of all, I do think I do want to still get married because not
Mm-hmm.
because there's any religious reason behind it or anything. I left church a few years ago. Didn't really had any connections to church, like a
Mm-hmm.
real like believing one, really ever. I just grew up Catholic. Um, but yeah, for me, like you already said, like for me, I honestly haven't been at too many weddings. I think I've
Mm-hmm.
been at 3 weddings in my life or something like, or two maybe. I'm not sure. So I have like this picture out of movies and stuff, like always
Mm-hmm.
in my mind of how a wedding is. And obviously through social media, you see a lot of people sharing their wedding videos or whatever it is. And for me, it is, as you say, as you said before, it is a really nice, genuine um, act of like showing your love to another person,
Mm-hmm.
right? And as you say, making it official, wearing the ring. I'm not a big like I know that for example for my wedding, I could never like have this huge talk in front of like 100 people and tell them
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I loved you since moment one, and have like this huge
Yeah.
speech, because I know I could not do that
Neither could
emotionally.
I.
I would literally after like 2 words I would be like
Yeah.
so if I would
Break
ever
out
do
in
that,
tears.
exactly, if I would do that, what I think is a really nice way how some people do it is they write down notes, like they write a big letter or something like that beforehand, before the wedding. And so the groom and the bride don't see each other before, and they just get the letter of the other
Yeah.
person, read it before the ceremony, and then you get married. So that would be something that I would want to do. And
Mm-hmm.
also when it comes to how many people I want at my wedding, I was at the wedding of my friend. I don't even remember how many years ago it was, from here, like 5 years ago or something like that. And she had like
Mm-hmm.
over 80 people at her wedding, and I just saw how stressful it was for her, because she
Mm.
couldn't spend time with everybody. Like, she could just go through and be like, hi, how you doing? But she could literally not sit down for 5 minutes and talk to you, because
Mm.
obviously, like, your day is scheduled so crazy. You have so many things to do. So the way that I saw it, like, I saw a few people kind of being sad being at her wedding and not being able to have 5 minutes with her, if that
Ah,
makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, not sad, but you could see that some people would have liked to
Yeah,
have a
yeah,
piece
yeah.
of her day with her, but they just simply couldn't. So for me, just inviting people for the sake of having them there is, at this point it was just, for me, like, there's just no point, because I cannot share this experience with that many people. So, and I also don't want to go
Yeah, I get
into this
that, yeah.
point with, like, I don't know, let's say, like, not specifically my aunt, but let's say I have an aunt that I'm not in contact with or something like that. And I don't
Mm.
want to have the feeling like I need to invite this person just because they're my aunt,
Yeah. Yeah,
while
yeah.
I talk to them once a year. So I wouldn't want to invite people just because I know that I should invite them, or
Mm.
I have had a relationship with them years ago. We were good friends and they invited me to their wedding, so I need to invite them. So I think I would now have a small circle. Like, I would really
Mhm.
just invite the people that I care the most about. So I
Mhm.
guess, like, I don't know. I mean, it happens really quick, because you have to think about, like, if I invite you, you're gonna bring your partner, and then
It's
um
always a plus
it's always
one, yeah,
plus
or most of
one.
the time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, but I wouldn't want to have 100 people. I would aim to have, like, I don't know, 50 max, like 30 to 50 people, I think, if
Mhm.
possible. Um, and I would want to have something, like, really intimate. Like, I wouldn't want to, or I wouldn't need to have, like, a huge castle or anything. Like, I think the idea, for example, how, like, Nita and Zazu are doing it, or how you said
Mhm.
it, like, to have just more like a place that means something for them, or something like in
Mhm.
nature, like in a forest or something like that. I would think something like that would be something that I would really like.
Yeah.
And I would want it to be something special. So I actually just recently, I think when I posted a picture, there was this trend on Twitter when somebody was writing, like, hey, I need some cheesy stories, tell me how you met your partner, or whatever it was. And
Mhm.
then I posted a picture of Nathan and me, and then where people, I was like, this was us 9 years ago, and 9 years ago, and we met like this and this. And then people started commenting, like, imagine being together for 9 years and not being married and not having children. What a useless relationship. And, like,
But
that,
that's what they said?
yeah, some
The
people
fuck?
really, yeah, there was like two, and not many. Like, most of the people were like, oh, such a cute story. But there was like two or
Yeah.
three people that commented stuff like this. And I was like, I don't know what kind of relationships you have, or imagine in your head that they can only be fulfilling when you're married or having a child or something like that. That is something
Yeah.
that really, like, I was like, okay, interesting. I don't think that way at all. You know what I mean? Um so yeah, but how I see it with getting married, like, I would have had no problem being married by this point already to Nathan. I would like to get married to him in the future,
Mhm.
for sure. But for me, the way I'm thinking about it, and maybe we can ease with this point also into, like, our next point of view, is like, we're both children of divorce, right? Both of our
Mhm.
parents are divorced. So the way that I see it, I would never try to force my partner into something that they don't want, even if it's something that I want. You know what I mean? Like, for me
Mhm.
personally, Nathan is somebody that's not in a rush. He says, for example, when it comes to marriage, like, it's nothing important to him, but he knows it's important to me. So maybe one day, but I'm not going to be that person that's going to sit at every single dinner where we're at a friend's thingy and be like, oh yeah, when are we going to get married? When are you going to ask me? That kind of stuff. I used to do that um, like a few years ago, and I realized how stupid and annoying that is. Like, first of all, that, I think, pushes the person more away from you. And if it's the other way around, that you force or you push somebody into that kind of commitment, I think you're starting out a marriage on a wrong foot already. You know what I mean?
That yes, but I wouldn't say like it's always a bad thing, or because it's something you really desire, right?
Oh
And
yeah,
you
for sure.
really want, and it's very important to you. So you have to like verbalize it
Hmm.
to make it clear. And then at some point it depends on, like, you have to decide for yourself if you can, either if your partner doesn't like it, right? Or
Hmm.
doesn't want that, or doesn't need that. You have to decide for yourself, okay, is that okay for me? Can I
Exactly.
live with
Yeah.
it, or can I not? And can the partner, vice versa, can your partner live with it if he does it? Like if he gets married and he doesn't want it, or is it like something that bothers him? So
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
And I'm 100% there. Like, I think that everybody, like, let's say, if it would be like 16-year-old me, and
Mm,
my 16-year-old me would now see, like, oh, yeah, you're in a relationship for 9 years and you're still not married. My 16-year-old me would be like, if he doesn't want to marry me after 9 years, I'm gone. But
mm,
now, the way that I personally see it, like, marriage is still something that I would want. But for me,
mhm,
having a healthy and happy relationship. I'm in a healthy and happy relationship. Like, I'm
yeah.
literally at the happiest place I've ever been. The relationship is smooth and good. There's literally like 90% that I would never want to change, and that is probably more
Mhm,
than most of people can ever experience in a
yeah.
in a happy relationship. So just because I want to have this one little thing or this one day, I wouldn't
Mhm,
want to sacrifice my best relationship in my whole life
mhm,
just because I want
mhm,
to have to stay in my other person, or that person in my life. It's just not important to them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So the way I see it now, I would rather not get married if it's something that is not important, or something that he doesn't feel comfortable doing for whatever
Yeah.
reason it is, and stay in a very healthy long-term relationship than forcing somebody in something that they're not comfortable with, and
Mm,
potentially um, starting a marriage on a wrong foot that leads to
mm,
divorce later on. You know what I mean? Like, if I have the choice of
yeah.
that, I'd 100% choose the long term relationship that I'm
Yeah.
happy in. Like, for me, in the end, like, there's nothing religious um background that I say, oh, I need this, or like
Yeah.
tax purposes, or feeling safe in a relationship. Like, I have 100% trust. I love him with my whole
Yeah.
heart. So for me, in the end, it would not change that much. You know, it would be like a nice, how do you say, like a symbolic thing that I
Mhm.
would like to do. But would it change our relationship in any dramatic way? Not at all. Like, in the end, it wouldn't change anything about how our relationship is,
Yeah.
or I don't know. Like, in the end, it's just a symbolic thing for me that I would like, but I don't have to do it. And I
Mhm.
made that decision for myself. And I think it's the same with children. You know, when people try, like, if you have a couple and they're like, one wants to have a child and the other person is not sure, right? L- For whatever reason, they're not
Mhm.
100% yet if they want to have a child or not. And then it often happens that that person is not 100% sure if they want it, get more or less like pushed into a corner and made a parent,
Mhm.
even though they weren't like 100% happy. And then, for example, a child needs to suffer potentially along the line because they have a parent that was at that point, for example, not ready to be a parent yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they would have been maybe two years down the line. And that's the way I see it, the same way with marriage, right? I think you can destroy a good relationship while trying to force something stupid like this
Mhm.
down somebody's throat that is just not in the right like mindset or part of their life yet. That's the way that I see it. But I totally understand people as well that are in a long term relationship and they're saying like, hey, after 9 years he still doesn't feel ready to marry me. I'm moving on.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna find somebody that feels ready to do this. And I completely respect like everybody in whatever direction it goes for them. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
to talk about the divorce again, that is a topic that I wrote down, which I think is really interesting. Like, do you think the topic that your parents were divorced um,
Mhm.
changed your mindset towards marriage?
Uh, yeah, partly. I think so.
Okay.
Because, but in a bad and in a good way, I'd say, because this is only something that shows me, that there's not always like you don't always find the one, or it's not the one you married is not always the actual one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Do you
That's how I
believe that
wanted to
there's
say it.
one person, or do you believe that there's
Mm,
sometimes a person that is the right one in this part of your life, and then you develop further, and then there's maybe somebody else?
I think there's more people you can like deeply connect with,
Hmm.
and at some point you can either choose to stay connected with this person or connect with the other person you feel very, very deeply connected to. Like, I don't think there's like only one person in life that will be your biggest love, but
Hmm.
I think it's more like a matter of your choice then. You know,
Hmm.
you're deeply
Yeah.
connected to this person, as I said. So uh, I'm definitely a friend of, or I support the there's not only one person in life.
Would you get married twice? Like, let's say you get married now, it doesn't work out in the end, and then you find later on in life the person that works in that moment. Would you get married again, or do you think it's some symbolic thing that you would only want to do once?
Nah, I wouldn't care about that. It depends on, it's more a matter of how much effort is it, if I'm honest.
So much stress to organize one wedding already. I mean, we saw it with Nita. Like, it was
Yeah.
Nita and Saz were both like working on it. I mean, to be honest, they had like the whole Corona thing in between as well. So they had like a
Mm,
2 year span of, or almost 3 year span of
yeah.
like the whole thingy. But yeah, I get that. Like, it's the same with building a house. Like, would you want to do that again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start over
So
again or choose what you want. So,
exactly.
I don't know. Like, y- I guess if it's fine and everything, I mean, to be fair, you have practice after the first one already, so maybe the second one
It's
gonna
getting
be
easier.
easier, right?
Mm.
Because now with Max, mom is getting married as well in June. It's her second wedding. My mom married. Was it?
Yeah, this
It's
was
2 years now, I
2 years
think.
ago. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's just it also depends on you, like how much and how tight of a schedule you want to have. And I prefer, and that's what I would do as well, like what my mom did. It was more like a nice ceremony with a party, right? Or
Mm.
a little event where everyone got together, came together, and they had a great time. I'm sorry if you hear the hooligans outside
Oh no, I
because
can't hear it.
the Sturm
Sturm
hooligans are
Graz. Oh
screaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
can't hear
So
it.
that's what I really like. It's more like a gathering than anything that has a super like strict schedule during the day.
Hmm.
I don't like it. I don't like it this way, and I would never do it this way because people feel like, or I feel like, obligated to like go by schedule all the time, and I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this. And I would rather just have like a nice ceremony, right? And
Hmm.
after that, I'm just popping the champagne, and I say, okay, guys, let's party, let's do whatever you want. Maybe
Yeah,
there's, I don't know, some trampoline there, and you have some dart stuff or like bocce, whatever it is, right? So these, I would basically make a little fun park where everyone, my whole family and friends, can just have a good day
yeah,
together
yeah,
and get to know each other, so nobody feels like the need of talking to everyone or feels awkward because there's so many people you don't know, and you might play a game together or do something together and you enjoy yourself with the other person, and that's about it.
yeah, yeah,
No stress, no pressure, no anything. That's how I would do it.
yeah, yeah. I see it
So
similar.
nobody's forced to like play any games they don't want to, or
Yeah.
like have some speeches or whatever it is. Like if you want to say something about me and my groom,
Hmm.
then do it, but nobody's forced to do anything. So just
Mm.
enjoy yourself. Have the best day.
Yeah,
That's what I would
I
how
see
I
it
would
similar
want
as
it.
well. as you. Like I think like years ago I would have been like the person that needs to be like, yeah, this time we do this, and then we have champagne, and then we do the ceremony, and then we have the speeches, and then we have the games, and then we
Mm.
eat, and then after the first food we steal the wife, and then those kind of things. But
Yeah.
I think I would be the same as well. Like, hey guys, try to be there at this time. We have some snackies, then we have the ceremony, and after that there's like this open space. Have fun, eat, do whatever you want, and in
Yeah.
3 hours there's gonna be a snack bar again. Enjoy.
Exactly, exactly. Everyone can grab food whenever they want. Everyone has just a great time. You can talk to each other. It's just no pressure, no stress at all. This is
Yeah.
how I would do it, and how I would like to people make people feel comfortable
Mm.
there. Am I lagging, Julia? I'm sorry. My
And you're
internet
not
is
lagging,
very
it's just her camera. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna try to refresh Steffu's camera. Give me 1 second.
technical issues, guys.
Yeah. Let me Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can uh fix it. Let's see if we can just
They're
refresh
so
it
loud
and it
outside.
works. There we go. It's a little bit better. I'm sorry, by the way, for
Mhm.
the people that are watching the episode. It's just sometimes Steffi's internet dies a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit. Um,
It's because all the Sturmfans are outside. They're leeching my 5G right now.
yeah, exactly. They're stealing her internet. So I think the last topic that I want to talk about when it comes to marriage is the benefits and the challenges of marriage. And the
Mhm.
most important thing that I think about marriage, which is a topic that should be talked about, is the commitment, right? Like when you are
Mhm.
married, it's harder to split up. Like it's not like when you're in a long time. I think that is for me personally the most significant change,
Mhm.
that it's harder to separate. Like you have to
Yeah.
go through a whole procedure of divorce. So that can be obviously like a benefit or a challenge, right? The way
Mhm.
I see it, because obviously challenge clearly like you have to do all the paperwork, you have to figure out to split everything even, or go through
Yeah.
all the legal stuff. And then you can also see it as a benefit in a sense of hey, this is making it harder for us to separate. So let's say we have like a big discourse or whatever about
Mhm.
um wanting to break up for whatever reason, right? Like we cannot just say like, okay, you know what, it's over, we're gonna go our separate ways. Maybe that is something that will make you give things potentially like another chance, to be like, hey,
Mhm.
do we really want to go through all this trouble, or do we want to put in the work and try to make it work again,
Mhm.
you know
Mhm.
that's a way I see it as well. To be honest, like Nathan and me, we don't really have ever fights like this where we're like about to break up. Like I think we had once in 9 years, and that was in the very beginning when we started dating. We just moved in together. I think after like 10 months of dating or something, because he missed all his friends in France. We had one time where we broke up for like 6 hours or something like that. And beside of that, we never like had a fight that would make us even be potentially close from breaking up. So
Mhm.
for me personally, for my relationship, it's nothing that would apply, but I can imagine from like past experiences that I have in other relationships that that could be something, that have impact on a relationship.
Mhm.
I know how you see that whole thing of making it harder to split.
I would never like, and I saw it with my parents, right? And I'm glad they did it the way they did it, because there's still there's still married couples out there that stay together for the sake of the children or whatever it is,
Mm,
but believe me, you just make it worse for everyone.
yeah.
So if you do not like each other anymore, and if you're sure about this, go through the fucking process. It's just harming, or not harming, but it's tough for everyone if you try to keep something up that is dead already. So, and your children will notice as well. Like
Mm,
everyone feels that, and you can see that. And so I'm very glad my parents did it the way they did it. They simply just couldn't go well together anymore.
mm,
So they quit. after they tried as well. They
Yeah.
tried to like fix it and everything, but at some point they just came to the conclusion that it doesn't work anymore for them. And
Mm,
that is fine. And it's better to quit then. Obviously it's tough, especially when you have a house, when you have children, you have a dog, whatever it is. I know it's hard, but it's not impossible.
mm,
And for example, obviously, like my mom, second marriage was also a reason of financial stability because she gave up all the house with my dad, right? My
mm,
dad, it's my dad's house, and she's like she was living in an apartment in the city with my siblings, and then at some point she moved into his house.
yeah.
So it's if he ever would like say, okay, I don't want to be together with you anymore now, she would stand there with nothing because she also gave up the apartment back then. So not not to talk about the fact that she knows like she's doing real estate, right? So she would
Mm,
always have an option to move in somewhere because she has or she knows buildings and everything, and she's like um managing them.
mm,
But beside that fact, it's just a financial stability for both as well, because she gave up a lot for him.
mm.
So or not for him because my mom didn't get divorced because of my stepdad, but
Yeah.
back then, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
She
She gave up a part of her own personal life to create a new one with him.
exactly. So and I understand that. Like, for example, second marriage is for stability.
Mm,
I totally get that because one person is always like you come out of two different lives, probably two different families you've created already,
mm,
and you want to merge them and create one together now. It's a matter of stability then.
mm, for sure.
So yeah, I get that. For me personally,
Mhm,
I don't know if it changes anything. I feel like it's the same with what we did, Max and I did back then. We had two apartments, right? And we
mm.
decided to move together because it's more like obviously makes more sense to not have two washing machines, to not have all the spices double
Yeah.
or buy everything double
Pay
for each
double rent,
apartment.
pay
Yeah.
double electricity. Yeah, exactly.
So we did it because obviously we wanted to like live together, and it saves us quite some money, or saved us quite some money back then. Nowadays it doesn't because everything's fucking expensive and now our rent is fucking expensive. But it just makes sense to do these things. So I understand it with the marriage as well. I don't really see the what the benefit for me and Max would be, because we have a very balanced relationship with everything, no matter if it's uh what we do or with the money. Like at some point I go do the groceries, then the other day Max goes and does the groceries. So there's like we have this balance with everything, right?
Mm,
And if there's like I don't know if I paid $10 more than he did last time, nobody will complain because
exactly.
why would you? It's like, and we also have the kind of like what we did or what we agreed on is or was back then when I was studying and he was working, he obviously like he said he gonna spend more for groceries and everything because he knows I don't have that much money. And
Mm,
then when he started to go like when he started with his study program and I worked, it just flipped and shifted, and I did it, and I paid a bit more rent or whatever it was. So
mm.
we just help each other out.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it should be. And
Yeah.
I think I see it the same way as you. Like in the end, we talked a little bit with Steffi before we recorded the episode, and at the bottom line, beside of maybe tax benefits, which is not even the same for
Mm.
every country anyway, so it's
Yeah.
depending where you
Yeah.
live. But beside of maybe tax reasons, there's no real reason to, or there's no need to turn a long-term relationship into a marriage if you don't want to. And ultimately
Yeah. Yeah.
it is a decision for everybody based on their personal values, goals, preferences, um if they want to get married or not. And obviously it should not only be the decision of one part of the couple but also from both. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you get married because of religious reasons or personal preference or whatever your reasons are. I think everybody just needs to decide that by themselves. And if they find a partner that they potentially want to do that with, right? So yeah, I think I'm not gonna be the person judging anybody. I will never be the person going up to somebody and being like, "Yo, Stefan, you're dating Mux for what, 8 years now, and you're not married yet? The time is fucking ticking. What's going on?"
And where are the children?
Yeah, where are the children? Why didn't you have like 3 children yet? You're a woman and you're 30 and you don't have 5 children yet. You're useless to society. Like, for everybody, like, I know that for some people, that is just being interested in people, like being like, hey, are you gonna get married? Hey, are you gonna get kids? I know that is, some people do not have an ill intent behind those kind of questions. But I think we said that before, but please really try to be not as nosy when it comes to those kind of things. You never know what are the reasons behind people not getting married or people not having children. You know, it could be just a normal decision, but it could be people trying for like multiple years to get a child and then not being able to get pregnant, you know, or maybe one partner wanting to get married really bad, but the other person just doesn't want it, you know, or them having generally like issues with their relationship that they don't publicly talk about. So really be a little bit more mindful about asking questions or making even statements about relationships being useless because they haven't ended in a marriage or children yet. So that's just my 5 cents to this whole topic.
Beautiful.
You wanna end something?
I wanna end.
That.
What?
Oh no! I asked if you want to add something, or if you
Oh
not
no!
if you want to end.
No! I want to end. Cut this.
Cut it. It's enough.
Cut it.
Sorry.
There's nothing to add. It was beautifully said. I'm sorry. I need rest.
Awkward
guys.
silence.
That was very my brain was working.
Don't
Like
worry.
I was like processing what you just said.
Don't worry about it. So guys, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Feel free to let us know about your opinion about marriage in the comments. We love you all. We hope that Steffi is going to be even better next week again. We love you all, and we see you again next week. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.